What's up everybody, and welcome back to another match week video. Today we are going to be going over the results from match week 33 in the Premier League. So first game we're going to get into is Brighton versus Norwich, and again this is another meeting between two lower half teams. Another week of bad news for Norwich, seeing as they lost this game 1-0 and they're sitting at the bottom of the table still. So as you're going to see here, it's just I think, in my opinion, it was a very, very good goal. Good ball in from Aaron Moy to Anthony Trossard. And I think just here the patience that was shown by Moy just to wait for Trossard to complete his run and to be able to put it in the perfect spot. It's a beautiful goal, honestly. Norwich is just getting closer and closer now to being relegated, and I think this week pretty much sealed it. For Brighton though, pretty good news. They've pushed themselves now 9 points clear of the relegation zone, and that's, there's only 5 games left, so that's definitely going to help them out big time. Next game we're going to be jumping into is Leicester versus Crystal Palace, and in my opinion this was a much bigger game for Leicester. They've been struggling since return of lockdown, so they've allowed teams like Chelsea and Man United to clip at their heels for that third place spot. Leicester definitely had a great bounce back game this week, hammering Crystal Palace 3-0. Here's the first goal scored by Kaleki Iheanacho. It looks like a mistake by the keeper, but all in all, I mean, it's a goal is a goal is a goal. You'll take it to put your team up 1-0 any day. Big milestone for Leicester striker Jamie Vardy, scoring his 100th Premier League goal. He also got his 101st Premier League goal in this game as well. But just seeing as he I think his first year in the Premier League was 2014-2015. So to think that he's scored 100 Premier League goals in 5 years is an incredible achievement for him. He was a fun fact about Jamie Vardy, he was working in a factory at the age of 24, so to see how far he's come, it's just a great story on that side, on top of him being a Premier League champion as well, which is still to me one of the greatest achievements in all of soccer. So yeah, this is a big win for Leicester. Now they keep their 3-point lead over Man United, and they keep their 1-point lead over Chelsea, I believe it is, going into the final 5 games of the season. Okay, so next game we're jumping into, which was my favorite of the weekend, Man United versus Bournemouth. Game finished 5-2, and it was another very impressive performance by Man United. Another underwhelming performance by Bournemouth, even though they did get a couple goals. As you'll see, their first one here, Stanislas put Bournemouth ahead, and does Harry Maguire absolutely filthy with a nasty meg, and beats David De Gea at his front post, which should in my opinion should have never happened in the first place. Getting beat at the front post like that is just, I feel like that's something you learn as a young goalie, but look where he is, look where I am. I'm here behind the camera, he's on the field playing, getting paid millions of dollars, right? So it only took Man United about 13 minutes to equalize, and then I think another 10 minutes to get another one. But as you're going to see here, just shortly before halftime, Anthony Martial scores an absolutely beautiful goal, just curls it back post. He likes to have these shots a lot throughout a lot of different games, and as a fan, I could say that they don't usually go as well as this one went. So it was glad to see him just bang one home. I mean, what a goal! Just what a goal! So, that this is a big game for Man United. Just pushing super hard for that top 4 spot. And for Bournemouth, just another week of bad news as they sit in the relegation zone once again. Moving on to Wolves versus Arsenal. Arsenal comes out and wins this game 2-0. It seems like Mikel Arteta has them playing pretty well these last few games. So, it's always good to see Arsenal getting back into run of form and playing well. This was actually a surprising result for me. I thought Wolves would at least get a point out of this game. But, it's soccer, things happen. You just never know whose day it is. So, if you look here, first goal scored by Saka of Arsenal, and this is not only Arsenal's first goal of the game, this is also Saka's very first Premier League goal ever. So it's just awesome to see the young kids achieving things at such a high level. So he's just another promising prospect that we have for England's upcoming future national team endeavors. Maybe even we'll see him at the Euro Championships in 2021. You just never know. So yeah, I think these 3 points push Arsenal up to 7th place, I believe, which currently could be considered a Europa League spot, and that's just all pending on the ban decision that happens with Man City. So I think we're waiting for that in the next couple weeks. Now to the game between Chelsea and Watford. This was a great game for Chelsea. They won comfortably. It's a good way to bounce back after a shocking loss like they had last week against West Ham. As you'll see here, Olivier Giroud, the striker for Chelsea, is going to open the scoring in the 28th minute. Just a great run, great little finish, little bit of patience, let the defender slide past and slot it behind him into the far post. So just another, like I said, just a good game for Chelsea to bounce back and try to keep their distance between Man United and Wolves for that top 4 spot. Watford just continues to struggle. Right now they're sitting 1 point clear of the relegation zone, so we will see what happens in the next 5 weeks if they can hang on and stay in the top division. Next game is going to be Burnley versus Sheffield United. So again, as I touched on last week, these are both teams that are not attack-minded teams. They're just going to sit back and wait for you to make a mistake and counterattack and try to steal a goal. So this game finished 1-1, and as you can see here, Burnley opened the scoring from another set piece just like last week. Nice little flick on from a decent ball, and just a great finish to put Burnley up 1-0. This result just has, Burnley holds their position in 10th. They are what you would call a mid-table team. So they just hold their position in 10th place, while Sheffield actually drops down from 7th to 9th, and it seems week by week they're just losing sight of that top 4, top 6 spot that they had before lockdown. Moving on to West Ham versus Newcastle, and this was another game where both teams ended up earning a point. Final score was 2-2. West Ham opened the scoring very early in the 3rd minute with a goal from Mikel Antonio. As you can see here, just the ball in, mistake by the defender not being able to clear it, and just a nice little finish to put West Ham up 1-0 very early. Also, Miguel Almiron, as I told you guys last week, I think he's coming out of his shell, and I think this goal, he scores another goal here this week, so I think that just goes to show he's going to be one to watch next season. I think it was about 13 minutes after West Ham scored. Miguel Almiron puts Newcastle level with this goal here. Just a great finish to get it in, and just a smart run, great finish to get it in from where he was in the box. And I'm looking forward to Newcastle's team next season, especially with their new ownership. So Newcastle might be a team to watch next season. We'll just have to find out what happens during the summer transfer window with them. Next game we're going to be getting into is Liverpool versus Aston Villa. And I think this was a great game for Liverpool to have following the loss to Man City, because Villa are a relegation zone team, and the result this week obviously didn't help them at all. Here was another game also where we see a young English prospect score his very first Premier League goal, and as you'll see here, Curtis Jones volleying home Liverpool's 2nd goal of the game. Just awesome to see, and I think it's going to be really cool is seeing Liverpool's young kids getting a lot more chances for the rest of the season, seeing as they've already won the league. And for Aston Villa, it just looks like more and more that they're heading towards the championship for next season. Next game is Southampton versus Man City, and all I have to say is, wow, what a shocker. Southampton beats Man City 1-0 this week after Man City hammered Liverpool last week 4-0. I am a firm believer in, if you have such a high the match week before, I feel like it's hard to match that level in the following week. It seems to always happen in the Premier League, seeing as how competitive a league that it is. It just seems to always happen week in, week out, with teams winning by huge margins. The next week they struggle. Even Liverpool this season have had a couple games like that where they've had to squeeze out a win 1-0 or 2-1 in the last 5 minutes. So yeah, just a firm believer in that. But as you're going to see here, Southampton, great goal. Don't take anything away from Tay Adams. It's a great finish from how far out he is, but I just truly believe that this is a positioning mistake from Ederson. He's just way too far out of this goal. I feel like a lot of the times he does get caught out. That's kind of like his biggest, I would say his biggest flaw in his game. He is a very good goalie, but I would say his biggest flaw is his positioning a lot of the times. So yeah, I mean, just again, take nothing away from Tay Adams for the goal. This was his very first goal for Southampton as well. And yeah, you know, City just sit up second place. Southampton are trying to stay out of the relegation zone, so this was a big 3 points for them. Last game of the week, guys, we have Tottenham versus Everton. And to give you my honest opinion on the game, it was very boring. Just a slow game. It's just two teams that I don't like watching very much, if I'm going to be quite honest. As you see here, yeah, the only goal from the game came from some sloppy play in Everton's 18-yard box, leading to a shot from Lo Celso that caused an own goal by Michael Keane. I don't think many people are paying attention to what actually happened during the game as of what happened going into the halftime break between Son and Hugo Lloris. They seem to have a bit of a disagreement between them over Son's not tracking back on defense and almost leading to an equalizer for Everton. So that was probably the bigger story of the game. I'm not sure what Tottenham is doing right now. They're kind of struggling within themselves. It looks like maybe they're crumbling inside the locker room. I don't know if this has anything to do with Jose Mourinho. Me personally, I would love to absolutely blame it on him. It's all his fault. So these 3 points are actually push Tottenham up to 8th place, while the loss for Everton holds them down at the 11th spot, where they were last week as well. Alright guys, so that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope this was very beneficial to you if you missed any of the games this past match week. Please go ahead, like, subscribe. I will put my social medias down in the description. I look forward to being back, and I will see you guys on my next video.